So I'm here talking about networking today, and mainly I'm going to focus on social networking, which is web networking. But I don't want you to get confused and think it's just about Facebook. Networking is really about real-life experiences, real-life relationships, and the goal of using any kind of internet tool is really so that you can build those long-term relationships with each other. All right, let's get going. Ooh, wow, that's weird. Okay, what is networking? Why we network? Best practice and networking tools are the things that we're going to talk about today. What is networking? Sharing information and services among individuals and groups, having a common interest. Pretty easy definition. And we all heard it's not so much what you know, but who you know. And that's absolutely true. Because I might be an expert in rocket science, but if NASA does not know who I am, they're never going to find out what I have to offer. You have to tell people what you do and make them aware of your areas of expertise. You have to make sure that you're out there and putting yourself on a variety of different networks, and then making sure you link and interconnect yourself across those networks so that you can continue to be found. And right now, Facebook and Twitter are the two hot tools. And I started focusing on those as I saw them gain momentum and popularity. And I can't even begin to tell you the social networking growth I've experienced on these two platforms just in the last 6 months outweighs what I was able to do in a year and a half in these other sites. And I think the reason for that is because I caught the trend just as that wave was peaking and knew exactly what I wanted to do, knew who I wanted to target, knew how I wanted to target it, and I'm on the way. But that's not going to last forever, so I don't want to sit here and say, okay, if you want a social network right, you need to use Twitter and Facebook and a blog, because 6 months from now it could be completely different. You have to watch the trend. Reputation, we build our social reputations over time. We build them through in-person relationships and online relationships. We begin with a profile. People want to know who you are. They're going to want to know that when they meet you face-to-face. They're going to want to know that when, people are changing where they don't want to just meet you face-to-face first. They want to know who you are before they meet you or after they meet you, as we talked about. And so they're going to check up on you. You're going to have an identity. You have to know who you are. You have to have an elevator speech. What do you do? If you were in an elevator with, Barack Obama, and you had 1 minute to get from the first floor to the 10th floor and to tell him who you are and what you're about and what you believe and what you're skilled at and what you're an expert in, so that when you get to that top floor and he steps off, he goes, I could use you in my cabinet, right? You got to have that elevator speech. You got to know who you are, because you cannot network effectively without it. So if you don't know who you are, and if you haven't gotten that succinctly down to a 1 minute elevator speech, you need to do that and really work on it. And it takes time. It took me over a year to get mine figured out. Once you know your identity, once you know what you're an expert in, what you care about, what you believe in, what your position is, what your career goals are, you build your reputation, and you're going to use the internet to help you do that. And then once you have that reputation and people know that reputation, you earn their trust. And ultimately, whatever business you're in, it's about trust. People need to trust you. Trust you to be in charge of other people, trust you to handle an account, trust you to handle the money, trust you to lead. So that's what it's all about.